the Bible.
Okay. And I feel one by one. For the old canon.
Testament canon. Okay. Old Testament canon, it took over 1,000 years and sana warrior than warrior atum. Usan the Bible no Old Testament no it was recorded in Hebrew na Aramaic. In wakasa was a true Old Testament no Hebrew na Aramaic and was a true. Now let's look at the stages of formation, how they formed the canon. Ansa na wobe nya canon was in Kensha today. Okay, in some no, does it have any authoritative backing? Is it an authoritative utterance? And adama semiya working and to me be here then ite ye chirana. Aha. Into no say yeshua Bible no me bomu say na nyankopon say that says the Lord. This is the word of God. I think Isaiah chapter 1 verse 10 na Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 5 now. So it means that the na ashas no oye then one of what Yankupon say also Yankupon Semenkade, Yankupon Semenkade. Then they were transmitting that message orally. Until me find there, ebia the prophet Ezekiel. Nyamiza asama shana no mwabaka da Yankupon na sede, Yankupon na semi sede. Until ono aka wie no one wobeti no so woko abaka do Yankupon sede. Then they will pass it from one generation to another. Into Asam no Orebano, does it have an authoritative? Is it an authoritative utterance? And Asam no Oreban two maybe here then it a yechirana. Then they move to formal written documentation. Into no Ashasana Wakandamara, then other way than CC other way than watch row, they should document it. Into no in Ribibaya, if you know, if it today Moses and Brown in Yankupon war Sana and Ozam Brandamano, the law was written on tablets. Then they started writing nkakra. Then what you're showing if you didn't in some also until they have to collect the document. Into what shows the war gather document, and it took about 1,000 years. Now war gather. Then they were trying to preserve the document. What collect the document then they came to sorting. The document not those now they started sorting. Was sorting and kakran, then they were fixing the canon. Into criteria, what the share was here sorting in there. Was in cancer, what for book and I'm offended as for Genesis. Genesis, no. Is it a divine inspiration? And Anyankopon na audio bimu mo the book of Genesis nana. That is the first criteria was about she. The new outro we no Anyankopon na oshano and na audio no nyame susu konkon no audio no mo yana. If you don't meet that criteria, one for nka canon no. Then the second one here, authorship. One not true. And I nipa not true no you be an yankopon na yine there. Onzi ban no ewo nkrofunuma. Into ade tumi bi ku no ye ohyen. So no ahemfo no ehwe ahyem de do numa nyame no yi hyen. Ade bi ku no do wanye ohyen odo ye imbranyi yibi imbranyim ni lawgiver. Wanye imbranyim ni odo ye otembuafo, odo ye judge. Wanye judge odo ye nkomhyenyi prophet. And odo ye sofu priest. Into no watch the divine inspiration, watch the authorship. Now about the holiness of the content. And some nankasa no see so that one and all your concrete. It is assembly your concrete. It means that you have met the third criteria. Then the fourth criteria in there, the use of a particular document by the Jewish religious community. And zasisi aye kawasam the bubu kuna wafano. Ana Jew funo wani eshiemuzino ana wakankan the book no ewo hɔ a nti sɛ wɔfa book na sɛ wɔhwɛ na sɛ wɔmeet them for criteria nyara then it qualifies to be part of the canon.
Okay. Yes. Pa ti kan agwakɔ sɛ wakeka bibia bo na wasort out na wayi wasɔne so no wayi
nti na unda na nti na unda make am say that you measure the explain the canon we say it is a measuring rod nti you don't to ho nti you the rod nto to okay nti yentwensi ha da makapita we na wa afa na pencil you na wa take akakra na wa take akakra nti mo nya na wa then we twa fi ho.
Okay,
right,
Mate. Yes. Now, the composition of Old Testament.
Okay, right. Nana, Old Testament, no. The Yehu marker there we have books in Oho. The Yanshu Musma, Ekeke boom, it is CNE. na most mo watch chim in the divisions no. The Hebrew scripture no, the Hebrew Bible no, it has 3 divisions. Watch him ibasa. And you know, Izina was the technical name, yes, it is called the Tanakh, the tripartite division of the Old Testament of the Bible. Into your Torah, another the Pentateuch. It is able to me the law in Brano. Now the Torah no, it consists of the first 5 books of Moses. We have Genesis, we have Exodus, we have Leviticus, we have Numbers, we have Deuteronomy, into all 5. Then we have the second division, which we call the Nebiim, the prophets. Nebiim no prophet in your former or early prophet. Former prophet no, and early prophet no. Bini Joshua, Judges, Samuel, and Kings. First or 4 books. Now, if you Hebrew Bible, na if you Hebrew Bible, na there. Samuel no onye Kings no, or 1 book. Samuel no or 1 book. Say ko Bible you me, but your first Samuel, your second Samuel. Yeah. But in the Hebrew Bible no, first Samuel and second Samuel no obomi ya 1. So it is not counted as 2 books but 1 book. And now first Kings and second Kings, so it is not counted as 2 books but 1 book. Into no one work kana Hebrew for work kana one can as 2 books, but can as 1 book. Good. Now you what the latter prophet. Latter prophet in so watching one mu 2. You what the major prophet. You're from Isaiah, Jeremiah, na Ezekiel. Why 3 books? Now why they you from one major prophet? You're from the major prophet because they wrote extensively. One books now what throw a pa. Until we call them the major prophets. Then we also have the minor prophets. Minor prophets in why 12. You were Hosea, you were Joel, you were Amos, you were Obadiah, you were Jonah, you were Micah, you were Nahum, you were Habakkuk, you were Zephaniah, you were Haggai, you were Zachariah, and you were Malachi. And this in an echo Hebrew Bible number, it is considered as 1 book. 12 in an waka boom why 1 book. Good. Now you call the 3rd division, the Ketubim, the writings. Your Psalms, your Proverbs, your Job, your Song of Songs, your Lamentations, your Ecclesiastes, your Esther, your Daniel, your Ezra, Nehemiah, your Ruth, na your Chronicles. Into no 11 books. Into no ebon there Hebrew Bible no. It is the Old Testament of our Bible no. It was Hebrew no, it is only 24 books. 24 books. Because some books have been put together as 1 book. Now, Yenzene the Imdo 39 or 43, 46, as I said. Around AD 100, and a Jewish rabbis in Woshia, the Council of Jamnia, and were approving these 24 books, as their canon. But the canon was not closed. When closed the canon, until the 5th and 6th centuries away then we close the canon. Until after we close the canon, one baby my maiden and back home. So that was the scripture in existence. Until the Old Testament canon, no formation and history no and na mezi amawe.
Okay, so yeah, Timmy modern Old Testament, the New Testament canon, the New Testament canon.
Right, Nana. New Testament canon. It is made up of the Gospels. Yaka Gospels are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. 4 Gospels, 4 canonical Gospels. Now you the Acts of the. Then you were the Corpus. Paul, in studies we call it Paul, the works of Paul. Romans, you were First and you were Galatians, you were Ephesians, you were Philippians, you were Colossians, you were First and Second Thessalonians, you were First and Second Timothy, you were Titus. You were Philemon. Now you were what we call the Catholic epistles or the Catholic James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, Jude, then Hebrews, then Revelation. Now, during the time of Jesus, the scripture in existence was the Hebrew Bible. And they even existed in scrolls. I don't know what scroll though. Until later on, after the Council of Jamnia, was the canon is what the stamp is to the CC and the books in only into me for become into me and ye being film. Now Jesus Christ he didn't write a book. Jesus one draw. There is only one record in Bible okay Jesus so also had an otro form. Embra bisiana watching do ye dwumanyi nyina obe na one on one bay what born a charge not Jesus Christ or the such as was here and the church. So that was the only instance in the Bible Jesus Christ higher than Otrawi. Now Jesus Christ ne hun sam zo kan zo ye nyinara no na esuafo na oho Peter John James na won na oho nti no won wo huni what say wanye na nam nti wo huni zo ye nyinara nti no there was no need for a book for them mishia una na ma aka bi a kyerɛw because I am an eyewitness mishia mu nia foforo na ma aka bi a kyerɛ no mokɔ asɔre na ma aka because I am an eyewitness I have the first hand information nti no obi are than oreka. Now it came to a time the eyewitnesses were dying. No wuko because they were facing their martyrdom na persecutions na adults oduru baby so they saw the eyewitnesses wo wu no asam na maka kira wo nana no se ko kaka kire ebia munia Francis a sameka de ebia Jesus ate in the house of Martha every day awatu ebia na also ko na aka de Jesus ate in the house of Martha every day but he drank water too it be aka ho ono so tia no so akaka no so di aka ho nti ebo na asam no bodure e nyipa be ya cha no one feel the message has been distorted so it became necessary there other way than what document Jesus Christ no one some nti no the gospels na ye hu no though there's a ehwe Bible na ebo New Testament a gospel no shas but the gospels were not the first to be written. They were not the first to be written. Paul no letters no because they were letters into they were proper documents into the Paul or true characters and bro what the character and so so they were written to Paul no letters no was in can watch through and son a gospel no power better than the first letter First Thessalonians only the first year you somewhere around AD 15 no watch through First Thessalonians into the first gospel no was written somewhere in AD 70. Now it will interest you to know there you be so be there the first gospel no gospels for na hinge na what on the first nana gospels and so here for Matthew, Mark, Luke and John actually hinge na what on the first what as you see am ye mu there nya Matthew na what on the first that be Mark na what on the first into the play we place Mark in your first Matthew na your first and sana ya ba Mark but what on Mark and sana what on Matthew. As you see, I'm a young that were Mark and son of what trauma. Mark was written somewhere around AD 70. Matthew was written somewhere around AD 70 to 80. And son of what Luke in AD 80 to 90. And son of John. And so that is the gospel for you. La sana ya ba art no the letters in Yenara. Into no yen share 27 books. New Testament 27 books. We still don't know why a selection to form the canon. The first thing in there, arrangement to the Dana, the why I made the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But say, yes, the time and the Mark, no, Sunday say, yes, Bible, Matthew, Mark, and Luke now. Training in that we have a lot of similarities in them. As same way I can Matthew, a woman or Mark, a woman or Luke. Into the mid-train was assumed yesterday from the synoptic gospels. They have similarities. Now you can look at them with one eye. Into differences to character. But if you Mark no yet here, because Mark no or penenta no I then watch raw. Until no man the first gospel to be written. Into the name that show there, second can mark a wound that Mark no pentampa. And then we want to undescribed baby, or can one to one onion. But it's like to compare the parallel in Matthew and other Luke. I won't that Matthew know the details across the bed and as back when see Matthew return it no or share Mark not the trouble. Luke also share Matthew na Mark not the trouble. Hanty boom day your stories go on more will look at who Matthew, who Mark. Only Luke. Into them no more than obey. Into no young shame most more way selection. Books 27 books in now already amazing kanaka there and some no they were by oral tradition e catch in a year catch into no esuafo na no obia nam no obon sampanda wu into nkofo bebre titibi into nkofo bebre stu en woni nuru bu en wo shaza word and worry tro into if the books now doso they had to put some kind of measure be in one because they do all no ma yɛbɛhu ebi wɔ no ma na wɔne nkyerɛkyerɛ no sɛbe ɛhwɛ mu a dɛm ade deɛ ɔmfiri nyankopɔn nti no Ibn kwan na wɔfɔ da wɔde ma yinye them the 27 books of the New Testament. The first one in there, the book should have an apostolic origin. Or the book na ye kama samono. Or the yetum ye trace a yezikesi or small fubi no do. Nti no Matthew, already in the Matthew is in order do. So we can trace it through Apostle Matthew. John, the John is in order, yetum ye trace. What about Luke and Mark? Now, Mark, or you'll be no ye secretary to Peter. No, ye Peter any secretary. Into we can still trace Mark to an apostle, Peter. No, Luke so on your Paul on your nantewe, on your Paul on your juma. Luke Nankasa, no, your doctor. Into your doctor is not your own huma. This lady on your Paul Nance was then be on my bed and or butcher. Into no Luke so into no, you can also trace the Luke to another apostle. The House of the Apostles in this is the collection of the works of all the apostles. Na yeboshe James, yehu Peter or yehu John or ye Revelation ye John. Into nyina what there. The books see nyina. Do they have any link to any apostle? Into what share no one who then they accepted this. Maybe one man they cherry. Some a book like Second Thessalonians or Cherry and Son of Word Jatu. Moabaka 27. Good. Now, the second criteria in there, it should be addressed to a Christian community. Book na ye cannot there. When you're a recipient, and what is the recipient? The recipient should be a Christian community. Tim find there Paul Day or throw a letter, also throw a letter to Abia, the Roman church, the church in Thessalonica, the church in Galatia. Into no, it should be addressed to a Christian community. And now the third one saying that it should be in conformity with the rule of faith. It should be in conformity with the rule of faith. Or there only any Jesuno, only then onye no ko. So only any Jesuno nkwa one book and one friend and one phone too. Inti nyame bebre ho no ma. Onam de yama yata say books no those inti. Na bi one ma one church no book bi one church no church no. Kinkeni bi a aye found apocryphal books na. Tumi kinken bi ko botu ma asro. Ebesro pa bi o say na Jesus no re yi ofandate. No the year anoma or ya no we no ofu from do go na one share story then olutu even they made the kukwana story been na water no into no. And there were a lot of heresies a bit there Marcionism and Montanism that no one can count them heresies in no na bi one no mad 1G some of the basic Christian doctrines no one that 1G into they rejected it, so they were false teachings. It is all your false teachings are one year than one far in year ejuma. And now, other work book no so should encourage the Christian community. Other the Christian community no show on crime. I'm even so amphibian kawana and some no wonder oral tradition. When you swing guma 1 year to down and some no, there was the need the other what gentleman was the canon was about. They were close to canon. I'm more binum fabi bed in fabi in fambaka.
Bibi to my drink a car. You hear Bible ni man, Bible ni go on man. Sir Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You have said the red pen, red ink, and the idea. It do be a use to kind of near the red near there. It do be a or mangas or more descriptions, maybe near the black and near there. Different than the way.
And the original manuscript only them red and black no. Or other printed versions no way just for emphasis. I mean you okay the master me or a direct statement from Jesus. Now more be for the commentary and other description now why in the black just to let the reader know the difference. They hear direct statement from Jesus. Into the way you see them two colors and what's the other no. But the original manuscript na kasanedi one color.
Okay. And you know finally odi no the definition of New Testament canon.
Right. The final definition, it happened in 1546. 1546. On the closely canon. And on a council, what's in a form, a son, nimpenny for what's in a form, now closely canon, my hand. We have found the Council of Trent. And once we are talking about the Council of Trent, we are talking about the Catholic Church. Because Martin Luther or rejected the 7 books na Oka Old Testament no. He even rejected the letter of St. James. Martin Luther rejected the letter of St. James. Until if in the Protestant Bible they didn't have James until later on what is saying what the bed and what the count. Why? Because no or preach there faith alone, not works. But we the Catholics we preach faith and works. Faith and works. No, he was preaching faith alone, and then the Bible alone. Into no when the Echo James no humanuma the minyamin on yaden oniho. Good. Into no it was at the Council of Trent in a one the final definition there. The New Testament has 27 books into a close canon. No Old Testament, by the Catholic tradition, so no close to have 46 books. Into what I would say is that the Bible is a product of the church. Oya sono na brabon New Testament no oya sono na brabon na wetintim ewo kratado. Into in the Catholic Church we have what we call scripture and tradition. Both we hold as sacred, and they give us authority from God.
Yeah. Okay. And you ready? Father, that's one church now. They are brain. About no one trap on some Adwinpa Kasafidi, so Adwinpa 100.7 FM. So, sir, over our YouTube is Septadi TV. Sounds on Facebook and so yet Catholic Diocese of Secondary Takradi. Catholic Diocese of Secondary Takradi. Facebook. Now, what the discussions in the camera. YouTube is Tadi TV. Now, so no, what your camera. And so, a hormone. Adwinpa 100.7 FM. So, and you may any. Reverend Father Kessin, and AD and Como, a Hanamo. Mamma calls Kakra, our Mamma calls Kakra, our 0549 332016 0549 332016. Now, you didn't come Kakra, our Casa Yesu, and you didn't come at your fan of Trosem, Yamiasem, and you didn't come now, you did a found Brebe, and not your tro, ye, the any electronic and yesua nneɛma bebree menim sɛ wanso wɔ fie wasua nneɛma bebree so wasɛm bi sɛ bi anaa bi a wowɔ ntosoɔ baako mmienu bi ɔwɔ noma apɛ sɛ ɛne mmienu nyinaa yɛkyɛ a 0549 332016 0549 332016. Hello, good evening. Hello. 0549 332016. Na yenim komo kakra ewa ha. Hi, Adwinpa 100.7 FM. So, in the 0549 332016. Good evening. Hello. That's saying. Yami adumo, why new? What does your frost say? Sammy 18. Bible didn't Quran now. It's also here then. Yo, sorry, Matty. Good evening. Baba na tisai. Yami adum pacha wine. Ima yeti yo. Okay. Martin. Somebody in the base match with the cracker. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Maybe I thought to say.
Okay,
I don't want you.
Maybe
Maybe I thought to say. Okay.
And I thought I was very. Now, I said that I was sharing some book there and a pocket. I know what the African and we had the history again. Like getting here, I'm now we go and pray because over here, we put on Nyankopɔn ɛka kyerɛ kɔnhyɛne Mohammed sɛ Yesu Kristo ɛde nnɛkyeɛ miracle a ɔyɛɛ no ɔde bi nnɔkyeɛ de yɛ anoma na ɔtumi buu no na anoma no ɛtui nti saa asɛm na ɔka na profesa no woba Koran no a ɔwɔ Koran no nti saa book no asɛm na book no ka no ɛyɛ nokorɛ
Good evening. Hello, good evening. 0549332016. 0549332016. Good evening.
Good evening.
You are joining.
Just like I said, let us look up.
Yes, you.
You made a matter of our search out their money. That will be a medium very far. Then I did a banner. You need mark the coin by the swim with the mark or you pick a secretary. The veteran say, let's see what you have done the amount of Ghana. But me and your brain. Now, not so much of a church. My answer, you may be not yet. I think I'm your system. I mean, I'm in the moon.
Nyamison Kang, good evening. Good evening. Hello, good evening. The Baja is saying,
Watch out. And I'm not there.
Yamiad whining.
Mr. Robert.
Okay. Yes, you.
Watch out. Hebrew, one or choice.
Why throw Hebrew?
Hebrew, Bible, Hebrew. The
Okay.
book of Hebrew, one or choice.
Mate. Ebe you are why? Okay. Last call I'm running. Yeah, fancy. 0549332016. Good evening.
Good evening.
You are trading via Casafi. But your voice is Kakame. Why? Okay, Nana, are you team? Okay. Mate. Good evening. Last one, good evening. Hello. Okay. NT6 and if I tell me for last one. Good evening. Good evening, Akasa free. Why you come see me team? I also know some be kind Bible, the second chronicle na it be Bible that kind. Martin. There are some faculties give you how they be funny in yɛde AC yɛba studios na yɛne fada aba bibi ɛwɔ ɛhanom fada kɔ aba bibi
Yeah.
okay. Last one you know bisa sɛ ɔsɛ na sɔfo bi kan Bible wɔ takoradi na ɔsɛ Second Chronicle ɛna Old Testament no ɛyɛ first.
Nana, that's it. Well, even the Mary Church, I even said even with the Hebrew Bible and the Hebrew Scripture, no, Chronicles is seen as one book. And you know, Hebrew Funanka Sampono, they see it as one book. So how will you say the Second Chronicles no or first? What about the First Chronicles? So logically, no, man as often reckon that's not right. There is always a beginning. There is always a beginning. Into the watch channel. Second Chronicles no in some more can yentum yi yempa is the kanfono ho na yemba the Chronicles no. You want to know or yenkakran kakra na hyehyɛ into zizido. Into Moses, the books of Moses came first before Second Chronicles. Good. No, we should be sad on the 6 and 7 books of Moses. Amazing there were lots of books in circulation, but time of war define the canon. What the criteria been was a no was there then was it defining. Old Testament said the should have an authoritative utterance. The author should be divinely inspired. What they are very good, very good. Into the 6 and 7 books of Moses, it didn't meet the criteria. That is why it is not part of the canon. No, this will be sir or become apocryphal books. No? The Gospel of Thomas is one of the apocryphal books. The general name is one year apocryphal books. But Mama Ken, I cited the Gospel of Thomas. Jesus was a year, you know. But even in the New Testament, there was also another criteria. Into all these, we have Gospels in the also. A lot of people also did documentation. But we now what define the canon, what the criteria to just like the Old Testament. And a book, it doesn't have an apostolic origin. Was it addressed to any Christian community? They look at the holiness of the content. Then they defined the canon. Now, this will be said on the Quran and the Bible. Will be said on the Quran and the Bible. We have similarities, fine, but most of them they are apocrypha. Most of them are coming from the apocrypha because they were stories which were existing. Into probably Muhammad also got to know of some of these stories. Then this will be said that during the definition, 39 and 46, we define in by the Council of Trent, and he didn't know what you too. Amazing can the church, which at the time was using the 46, the Septuagint. Into Protestants and whatsoever when they went for the 39. So the canon was defined for the Catholic Church, 46 and 27, the old and the new. Then there was somebody who also asked a question on the letter to the Hebrews, one or Trawi. People think that Paul not Trawi because it comes immediately after the works of Paul, but then Paul not Trawi. We have a different author, not Trawi, Hebrews, which the name is unknown. Right.
That's it. And anyway, and you do much support. Then so maybe I will be at what you need. Then they trust them the moon city winning and I did Avanti.
Right, you Nana, we know ye chia St. Matthew for Holy Spirit for in our Pax Romana, you mat. Any program no ma oya homokan last week. Ye show BBR or BBOT in Bia Yachia one, Yamin Shrubia.
Yes, Yamumpa and
Ejan Oban on Yesun Concron is in the moon. Or two for Yankopon, the other was in your breast, so what boys are boy may even hear you may see for winch and award them from a womba. Nazan the year swing so on board here and ewo here in the Bible as you assume is in your dinner as a crisis to win him. No, now the Sunsum Concron as Yankon Combra on ye away. Ejan Oban on Yesun Concron is in the moon.
Yes, na Maribet, oh, US now here, oh, Facebook, Sansona, Charles. Also now here, Sansona Karen, also now here, Jackie, and Nana Abba, also now here, Sansona, Apracontete Junior, also now here, come Pana, Rosie, Ofori, Richmond, Atta, Jimfi, and Emmanuel, Asamoah, the Queen, oh, US, or the Wiki Diano, over Pa, and Ohineba, Kojo Jazzy, also here, and a Mamma, Ama, also here, live, oh, Facebook, if I told you, and nearby you be wishing in Nano, yes, so documented. You call YouTube a Sector TV or qua on Sabakan between your corner of TV or Samson. I'll call Facebook a Catholic Diocese of Second Tapradi. And so be near Biashe. Oh, when I want to send it, the science was here. And anyway, many Reverend Father does Atkinson and here. But that's will be an HL. And I mean, come. Yes, now to send a science was here. There's also not DJ icon or Bah about the twass. Come on, at the only Yakamina.
Dofo Catholic nya after sia nzamaze fa wo Catholic Jesu ho ana another Christian nya wa so ni je Catholic som ho na after esa Catholic fo iyen na siye akwanya ama de ebe kan me ho nyame akoa sofo Anthony emihie aka akesen ajuda biara fiti nyibru na watwezo krononkono iwo Adwinpa FM 100.7 embra ye churchrow nzamaze fa Catholic Jesu ho na benya ntase fofor na mama wo som so esum da ye Catholic nyi no onye damara nyame Israel
say Catholic hour wo Adwinpa FM 100.7 Jode biara na ɔwɔtwe kosi nɔnkron biara.